Let's bring in Yoav Kisch, the Education Minister of Israel. And during the course of this 5 a.m. hour here on the East Coast, we have been getting breaking news coverage of that hostage who made it out through her daughter. Let's listen to more of what she told us.
They arrived into a large hall in which about 25 hostages were gathered. And after 2 or 3 hours, those hostages, 5 of them, she among them, were taken into a separate room. My mom is saying that they were very friendly towards them and that they took care of them.
Okay, just to quickly summarize, that woman, the hostage, was with about 25 other hostages. After 2 or 3 hours, 5 of them were taken into a separate room, and the hostage, through her daughter, saying Hamas was very friendly to them and took care of them. Taking this soundbite along with the others that you've heard so far from this press conference, your reaction, Yoav?
Hamas is a barbarian group of terrorists. The things that they have done, I think humanity haven't seen since the Nazis. It's something that our people cannot even believe. We have, I don't want to start sharing, but the things that they did, they cut open a pregnant woman and stabbed the embryo. They did awful things that are not considered to be human. We see them worse than ISIS. And I heard the debate before when you spoke. I can't even imagine how you allow these people spoken for in universities in places like this. Would you allow it to ISIS, support ISIS in universities? That's where we are. We are fighting the worst enemy of humanity, and we have no discussion with them until we eliminate them.
President Biden was taking some questions on the release of hostages and whether or not he would support a temporary ceasefire in exchange. And his response was, we should have those hostages released and then we can talk. It was a short comment from the president, but a notable one. What's your response to that?
Israel is not negotiating with these terrorists, and I'm sure that anyone that genuinely concerned with civilian life should demand the immediate and unconditional release of all hostages. I also want to make sure, because I heard that some, I think, congressmen, which you also mentioned, Israel is not doing war crimes. We are focusing on targeting and killing these animals, these terrorists, these butchers. We allow the Palestinians on safe corridors to evacuate to the south. We are not targeting civilian and those who are not involved. But there is a war zone on the north of Gaza, and this is not a place that any civilians should stay. So Israel will deter and kill all Hamas activists who are worse than the worst barbarians that you ever saw. This is our mission. And I think the Biden announcement saying that there'll be no negotiation until they free all the hostage is the right thing to say.
That congresswoman that you mentioned is, of course, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, along with her fellow squad members, has definitely taken a pro-Palestine stance during this process. And as we well know,
this is not pro-Palestine.
I know, but I was going to clarify, sir. Yeah, it's pro-Hamas. I was going to clarify.
To be human. Yeah. I'm amazed how there's a congressman who is supporting such an idea.
I know. Yeah. You do not have to convince,
you don't have to convince us.
Any of us at this table right now.
They think it's pro-Palestine. In fact, it is pro-Hamas. But to the point of the overall negotiation, if you will, in reality, are there any conditions that Israel could possibly meet for Hamas to really give up all these hostages? Because I don't trust Hamas as far as I can throw them, sir.
Israel is not negotiating with Hamas and will never negotiate with Hamas. Hamas did things that took them out of human society. They have to be eliminated, and we are very firm in our target on this. This regime has gone to its end. On 7th of October, they signed their end of the Hamas, and that's what Israel will do.
Yeah, absolutely. And just a few days after the terror attack took place, Israeli President Isaac Herzog held a press conference. We aired it live on our show, and it was extremely hostile. As a result of that, Israel just showed journalists footage of the terror attacks taken from body cameras worn by Hamas militants. This footage is so graphic that it may never be released to the public. Do you think, and it is unbelievable that Israel is facing criticism right now for protecting their own country, but there are a lot of international journalists who are lobbing pointed questions at your country. Do you think that showing them that footage will have the intended effect of calming that criticism down?
We let the international media decide on that. I think that the stories and the media that we saw are things, I don't even to elaborate, but they tortured men and women and kids in the family. They had dinner when they cut fingers and legs and took out eyes of people and then burned them alive. They handicapped babies and burned them alive in front of their parents. They killed entire families. They did things that you can't even imagine. I have 37 kids that are still missing, kidnapped to Gaza. The youngest are 3 months old baby. Listen, that's what we're dealing with. These are the terrorists of the Hamas. They are butchered our civilians. They kidnapped kids and families. I have more than 20 kids who lost both their father and mother because they were slaughtered on this dark day. Israel is very strong, and we're going to fight, and we're going to finish the Hamas. This is something that we need, the international support on that. And as long as it takes, and it's going to take very long weeks, we will not lose the spirit, because when you're fighting such criminals, there's no other option.
It is just too horrible to even comprehend what happened to these people. We could tell these stories, but they aren't just stories. It was the reality of how human lives ended, and we wholeheartedly understand your outrage. Yoav Kisch, thank you so much for joining us this morning, sharing your message.
Thank you, sir.
We absolutely appreciate it.
Thank you.